Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the KILR Trucker, and we are continuing our adventure in finding a empty trailer so we can continue with our deliveries. October. Oh, that's not good. It's out of inspection. I think it's got duct tape. Good morning, my KILR viewers. It is the next day. I had to pull out the sleeping bag, not sleeping in it, but just using it as a blanket. Even though I have, this Swift Put blanket over there, it started getting colder last night, so I didn't want to rip that out of the bag because I want to be able to keep the plastic bag to put the blanket back in there. So I've got scissors with me, but that's not something that I wanted to fool around with last night. So I was just like up here, uh, reaching for the sleeping bag up there, and then just unzipped it and laid on top because it wasn't cold at first because I had the heater going in the truck, but unfortunately with this type of truck, this thing just shuts off on its own after a bit. Now I managed to get around it a couple of times with the air conditioner, where I had the air conditioner going on full back here in the sleeper section, and the engine stayed on during that time. Well, I did the same thing with the heater, but it didn't stay on. So eventually it just started getting really cold. But it's okay. It's all about survival, right? Survival out in the wilderness. Something I am thinking or was planning to do was get some like little portable camping heaters and also little air conditioners that you can plug into like the DC outlets, because there's a DC outlet over here, and there's another one over here behind me. And I know these little air conditioner units they're not very big, and you could probably find ones for like heaters that aren't very big either. And I can plug them in, in these two spots, and I'll have my own source of air and heat without the engine having to run. And that's kind of and that's a good thing too, because you can get incentive for fuel usage. So if you're really good on your fuel usage and you're not wasting a lot of fuel, you'll actually get incentive for that from Swift. So yeah, these are all little things here that I'm gonna figure out while I'm out here on the road, ways that I can be comfortable, and out here, and on the road and stuff, and things that I can share with you folks. So that way, when you're out here on the road and you've got yourself a truck like this, that doesn't have all the luxuries and stuff, you might be like, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, man, I don't want to suffer out there. Yeah, no, I get you. I don't want to suffer out here either. I've got to work and drive and live out here for weeks at a time. It's like I'm going to try to make myself as comfortable as possible. I mean, that's what it's about in regards to being a safe driver. You don't want to be uncomfortable and grumpy and like, oh, man, this sucks. And then being a danger to yourself and others just because you're grumpy. So yeah, I'm going to be looking up solutions to get around some of those pesky quirks and stuff, and and share that with you folks. Pretty sky. I love having my own truck and my own little place, but it's not always the fun time when you have to walk a distance just to go use the restroom or something. The trailer that I was given that needed the inspection, it was taken, but for inspection, but I'm not sure where it went. However, I did manage to find another trailer, like I think like right next to me or just a couple over, and it was empty, and I managed to get approval for it. So we're gonna go hook up to that. During the whole time that I was waiting for that to get assigned to me, so we're gonna get it hooked up. We're gonna depart at 10 o'clock. We should get to Procter and Gamble at 12 p.m. I'm figuring 45 minutes for drop and hook. It shouldn't take that long. I'm just parking, and all that other stuff. And then we're going to be going to a rest stop, which is just after we pass Idaho. And that's about an hour. And you can see I'm figuring in traffic just in case. So we should get there at 2. I'm going to take my half hour there. So we'll leave at 2:30. Then we'll be going to our first scheduled fuel stop, which is at the Flying J in Boise. And we should get there at 8:30. So yeah, I'm going to be driving 5.5 hours. So we should get there at 8:30. We'll be there for 15 minutes. I'll do a fuel, go in, get a few things at the store, and then we'll depart at 8:45. Lastly, there is a rest stop in Weatherby, and hopefully we can stay there for the night. There's a sign that says no overnight. We're not going to be able to do it, but we may not have much choice. We should get there at 11 a.m. And you can see I'm figuring out traffic along the way. So I'm figuring 15 minutes for traffic here, there. Some of these may not have traffic, so the buffer kind of helps. And then we'll have to shut down. I should get most of my hours in today. So that's what we're going to work on. And let's go ahead and get that trailer hooked up. Also, I took screenshots of everything so that way we have an idea of what things look like. So we'll get it hooked up, and we'll take off to Procter and Gamble. And I have a screenshot right here of what it looks like, so that way we know what to expect. And you can see I put an arrow as far as the way that we probably need to go to check in. So I spent a lot of time making this pre-trip, but because I'm doing that on the front end, that's less time I have to worry when we get there. I know exactly what we're going to be dealing with when we get there. I don't know if this is going to be a setback or not. Everything on this trailer is fine except the ABS light. Take a look. You can see the other light come on, right? Just keep an eye on it. Do you see? We'll just keep it on here just for a few seconds. And you can see it's not coming on at all. Now I got a feeling that some truckers would probably just say screw it and take the trailer and head out. I'm thinking this is probably just a light bulb issue. But what if it's not? What if something happens and I need the emergency brakes? I don't know what to really think. So I sent in a macro 10. It's a planner macro to let them know, hey, the ABS light doesn't work. You know, what do you want me to do? Everything else is fine. The tandem's not exactly at the 40, but that's okay. We can still turn with it. I don't think that's a big deal. And besides, they might want us to slide the tandems all the way back. So why waste time with it right now when we may have to spend more time sliding it all the way back? So I'm waiting to see what they wanted me to do. I'll go use the restroom or something. Wouldn't this suck if they take this load away from me, because I spent a lot of time planning the trip and everything? But at least you folks are getting an idea of what I was doing to plan my trip. And the rest stops, I looked those up on the atlas. And then I went to Google Maps to try to find a satellite view of it, which also gave me the name of the rest stop, which allowed me to get directions from the previous stop, whether it's a gas station or whatever, to there. So you can see I'm very detailed on how I plan my trips. I've done this with road trips, and it really helps. It helps me know, if someone asks me, when do you think you're going to get there? I can look at my trip plan and I can say, oh, so far I'm on schedule, I'm ahead, or no, it looks like it's going to be behind. I need to adjust my trip plan a bit. That's just how I am. I mean, I'm a very detail-oriented type of person. I kind of analyze things a little bit, which in some cases is why it takes me a little bit longer to catch on to some things, like, you know, parking, for example. But, yep, just got a message. Better let on-road know? I'm not sure what that is. I'll take a look at that once I get back to the truck. Okay, so these trailers that you're seeing back here, some of them are dry vans, some are dedicated, some are refrigerated, some are loaded. But I did find some empties, and I gave the numbers to my driver leader. So when she's able to check her messages, I guess she'll take a look and see if there's any of these trailers that we can take. As far as the one that I got that has the broken ABS light, they want me to drop it off where I dropped the other one off yesterday and put a red tag on it. I also had them look up the trailer that we brought in yesterday that had the expired inspection, and it hasn't been looked at. It doesn't have a work order. I think that's what he said, but yeah, no one's touched it. Yeah, this is fun. I'm looking at some other trailers. I don't think any of these are. Hey man, slow down. What's your rush? Yeah, so I mean, here you go. This is a realistic look into trucking. It's not just driving. I wish it was that simple. And even that is not exactly simple, because, you know, being on the road for hours at a time can be kind of tiring. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. And this reminds me of when I was in the Army. I was in a mechanized division, and I was stationed in Germany. U.S. Army, but stationed overseas in Germany. And a lot of times we were in the maintenance bay with our vehicles, whether it was a Humvee or a track, a command track. I think they called them 541s, I think. Or the other tracks, the Fist Vs, the FIST vehicles. I was a Ford observer or fire support specialist, and we're called FISTers. And the FIST V, and you can look it up, is this mechanized track that's got like a laser thing where you point at a target and it gives you the coordinates and stuff. It's pretty nifty. But yeah, we were constantly in the maintenance bay with those things. So this kind of reminds me of the same thing. Only difference is that when it comes to my vehicle, I actually sleep in it. You know, it's my home. At least the tractor's fine for the moment. Knock on wood, and there's none around. It's a whole lot of metal. Yeah, but I can't do anything unless I have an empty trailer. You have to have an empty trailer to take it to the location, and in order to pick up whatever it is that they have, because they're going to need that empty to fill it up with something else. So it's an exchange, one-on-one exchange. You take an empty, you pick one up, or you take an empty and it gets loaded, one of the two. Sometimes they're preloaded, sometimes you go and they do a live load. I think on very rare occasions they'll have you bobtail out and pick up the trailer. It might be like in desperate situations where they absolutely have to get that thing delivered. Could be wrong, but I think that's the case. But I think bobtailing to pick up a trailer is absolutely rare. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So I got to go get that trailer. And it's already hooked up. It's ready to go. It's just that light is busted. So I got to tag it and put it right over there, which is where we put the one from yesterday, which is no longer there. It's parked somewhere out there. I think we might be spending the day here at Salt Lake. You know, and I was waiting to log in to do my pre-trip when I was ready, because the minute I log in, my 14-hour clock starts. And I had already logged in to do my pre-trip. So my 14-hour clock has already started. So whether I drive, whether I not drive, whether I sleep for an hour, whether I take 2 hours to go walk to the store, whatever the case is, it's all part of that 14-hour clock. So when that 14 hours is up, it's it. That's it. So that sucks. Oh, man, that sucks. So the guy in the trailer repair was saying that it could be like a wire that needs to be fixed. You know, it could be a 5-minute fix. It could be anything. He says, or it could be your tractor. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not my tractor, because I'll show you. ABS lights right over here. You can see they go off. And that's part of the pre-trip. You check to make sure it comes on and it goes off. And it did. So it's not my tractor. Still waiting to hear about those trailers that I gave my driver leader. So when you go to do your macro 10, this is where you're going to, this is when you have problems. It's trying to focus on that. This is where if you have a problem with the trailer, you mark yes. If for some reason you're having a problem getting dispatched, getting a load, I think it's pre-planned. And then if your problem getting it dispatched, you got everything submitted, you got your next load offer, but you haven't been dispatched yet, you do that one. But we're doing trailer. And I'm going to cover my phone number. But I put in here, trailer assigned, had broken ABS light, need new trailer. I found these. So I put all those in there. And then I went ahead and submitted that. I also sent it to my driver later, so we'll see what happens. And since I've been logged off for more than 30 minutes, it has already satisfied the 8 hour, and the 30-minute break within 8 hours. So we're still running behind, but all I have to do is adjust the times. Everything else is figured out, as far as how long it'll take to get one place or another. But I could be driving really late today. I don't know. But the 14-hour clock is ticking. Maybe they don't want me to work. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Or maybe someone high up is trying to get me away from Idaho and Washington for some reason. I don't know. Take a look at this message right up here. I gave him the trailer numbers, and he's like, I don't have a whole number. What? I have no idea what this guy is doing. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. So my driver later came back and said, well, what trailer do you have now? And I said, I turned in the one that I have with the broken ABS light. And then she says, I need you to find an empty trailer. And then I responded, I just gave you 6 of them. I said, I thought you had to check them out first. Do I just pick any one of them? And then finally she gave me a number, and I'm like, all right, go get it. So I guess that's what we're going to do. Like I said, is it me? I'm doing it step by step. I don't know what the problem is, so I'm trying, okay? Okay, this is the last number that I gave her. The only thing is, LEQ, thank you. Does that count? Does that make it a bad trailer? I don't know. Well, it doesn't say, it's not broken, it's not cracked, it's not leaking. So far, so good. That came on. Something's wrong. This doesn't come on either. You can see that comes on. This is still not coming on. Give it a few seconds here. Yeah, something's going on here. What are the chances that I would have 2 trailers where the ABS light doesn't work? Is it something wrong with my tractor? Okay, here's an update of what's going on. This trailer didn't work either as far as the ABS light. Now, either I'm having bad luck or there's something wrong with the truck. Now, the guy at the shop did say that there are fuses that could have gone out and need to be replaced on the truck if the ABS light is not coming on. There's one more truck. So the 6 trucks that I listed, they're all on lockdown except for 2. And one of them they said was in the shop. So maybe they didn't take it out of shop status. I don't know. But I'm going to locate that truck. I'm sorry, trailer. Who knows? I made another truck.
I'm going to take my truck over there, I'm going to hook it up, and I'm going to see if the light comes on. Because it did come on before on the two, 3 previous times that I did something. And I've got it on video, so we know it worked. We know the dash light thing works. Maybe it's a fuse. So I'm going to go find it, and we're going to see. Maybe it's 3 strikes, you're out. We'll soon find out. Okay, this is the one that they said is in the shop. It doesn't look like it's in the shop to me. It doesn't have a red tag on it either. So the shop just didn't take it out of shop status or something. But I did notice this one doesn't have a thing for registration, so I don't know. Let's go find out if it's my light. Maybe it's my fuse box. Guess what, folks? Did you see it? Sounds like Nuke's top 5. Did you see it? See, it comes on. It's not my truck. So I've been able to eliminate that. We know it's not my truck. So that other one also has an ABS problem. Does that mean there are truckers out there that are not doing their proper pre-trips? And they're not checking that light? Because that's 2 of them that I came across already. Now, luckily, I don't have to take that other trailer over there. I don't have to hook up to it and take it over there. There was another driver leader that I talked to, and he said that as long as they're aware of it, they can put a work order in, and then they can just go find it. So right now, they're looking for another solution, another trailer solution. So, aren't you glad that I'm documenting these videos? I mean, for those of you, if you're new and you're getting into trucking, or, and it doesn't matter if you're with Swift or some other company, these same type of things can happen to you. And you might be thinking, well, what the heck do I do? Well, here you go. Here you go. I mean, this is a realistic, down-to-earth, honest view of some of the things that you may have to deal with, and probably will have to deal with. My phone is running out of battery power. I want you folks to be aware of something, and I've done this before. You have that button in the truck to release your 5th wheel, right? And I've come here and I just double checked to make sure the release arm is out. It's not out. You see that? So, be sure it's out. Remember this, the 1, 2, 3 step, and sometimes 4. Step 1, and that's if you're hooking up or disconnecting. Step 1 is the actual connection or disconnection of the 5th wheel. And so likewise, if you're connecting, make sure that's in. If you're disconnecting, make sure it's out. Step 2, the hoses. Step 3, the landing gear. Step 4, check the tandems. Make sure that they're where they need to be. Now I have to plug up my phone. Okay, we've got new instructions here. We're going to a customer at that address, if I can focus on it. So I'll put that in my Garmin and we'll head there. And there is a trailer they want me to pick up, and then to send a Macro 5 when I get there. Basically, Macro 5 is arrived at destination. That's a ticking time bomb, by the way. So this is where I'm supposed to go to get that empty trailer. And of course that's locked. It's got the address on it, so this is the right building. But yeah, there's no specific instructions. Maybe I'm supposed to go over there in the center. I have no idea. So they wanted me to send a macro 5 letting them know that I'm here, basically the final destination, and then an e-call, in case you're wondering, empty call. So I filled that out. There's no trailer to drop, but there's trailer to pick up. And dude, man, you're in my way. So's my hand. I noticed that that trailer right there has got a green light at the dock, which means it's ready to go. Is it loaded or empty? I don't know. I just sent them that trailer number to find out. I guess what I'll do is, while I'm waiting, I'll go drive around and see if I see any other Swift trailers. There's a second one there. That's got a green light. Now it could be loaded or not, but let's head over to the other side and see what they have. This is why it helps to look at a satellite view, because I know there's two sides to it. I saw trailers on both sides. Here's another one. Green light. I'll look over here, see if there are any others. Green light. Got another one over there with a green light. There's one right over here too. Let's see. That's got a green light too. I'm just taking pictures of them and getting the numbers, and then I'll write them down. And oh, wait a minute, hold on, there's more over here. Alright, I'll take pictures of those too. So we got these two trailers here. Okay, well, I'm not going through that way. Alright, this is a little better. Landing gear looks okay, skirts look okay. Watch, the ABS light doesn't work on either one of them. There's no seal or anything. Okay, I checked them both. I like how these doors open better. This one was a pain in the butt. The door hook is there. Oh, I just got something. Okay, we're back to the first one. They resent my load information and they added this trailer in it. So this is the one that they want to take. Hopefully they checked it and make sure there's no load in here. That looks good. That looks good. O-rings look good. That's low enough. Let's just take a quick look at some other things here. Everything looks good here. See, now the doors are open, so we'll need to pull out, close the doors. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, get it hooked up and everything. Okay, if I give them a trailer number, aren't they supposed to check it to make sure that it's clear? I mean, yeah, I gave them this one here at the dock. It's green light. I figured it was ready to go. A gentleman came out And and he's like, are you taking that one? And I said, yeah. I said, Swift wanted me to take that one. He says, okay, let me check. So he goes in the back and sees that there's still stuff on it. Shouldn't it have a red light? I don't know. Red light, stop, don't get it. But yeah, apparently this has got a low. But we know for a fact that there are 2 other trailers that don't have anything in it. So I'm going to head back over there and send another update. I'll do another macro 10. I probably should do an empty call too. And just let them know, hey, that one trailer has got stuff in it. How about this one? Oh, finally. I got a hold of the driver leader team as I was hooking up to this trailer because I was determined I was going to take this trailer. I hooked up to it. I tested out the lights. Everything works. The ABS light works. It's all hooked up. Did a tug test. Remember, do a tug test because when I was trying to take the one that was docked, it actually didn't hook up, and I wound up coming straight from it. So yeah, always do that tug test. I also had to slide the tandems on this to the 40-foot mark, and I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I know where to put that tandem stopper at. I think it's like I think I did 6 holes over from the front. So, and it put it right there at the 40-foot mark. So cool. So we're good to go. We can finally get going. Oh my goodness, this has been one heck of a day. Okay, we're supposed to drop off at 113 and pick up at 168. This is not bad. Not as far as back as that one. And okay. No, I think we're good. We're not exactly centered, but I am within the lines, so. I'm in between the lines. Okay, here we are. We're supposed to pick up from 168. There's 169. And looks to me that it's high enough. Oh, look, it's got a green tag. Inspection's good. Registration's good. Initially, it looks okay. We'll do a full P trip. Oh, we might have to make a P trip, you know. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, release arm is in there. So I had to slide the tandems all the way to the back, which means I'm probably going to have to slide them to the 40-foot mark. But I need to check the weight on the invoice and just make sure that it's okay. Otherwise, we may have to get it weighed just so we can find out. Let's take a look and see if the locking jaws are around the kingpin. I'm absolutely sure. Yep, see that silver thing? That is the locking jaw going around the kingpin. All right, let's go ahead and raise this. And then I'll check the invoice and see what the total weight is. 17,000. That's metric tons right there. So since it's under, remember, 34,000 pounds, because you can have 34,000 on your drive axle and your tandem axle, so 34 each. We don't, since it's not over 34, we're good. So we can slide this at the 40-foot mark, and it makes the trailer a lot easier to turn. So don't leave them in the back unless you have to for weight reasons. Wheezy, Ron Weasley. Yeah, because having them all the way in the back makes it harder to turn around corners, and also it makes things a lot different when you're trying to back. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at those tandems and move them to the 40-foot mark. Oh yeah, this is like slid all the way to the back. Now my mentor told me that the reason why they'll have the tandem slid to the back is when they load it, they need that support, which makes sense, because if they're bringing in a forklift or something, and it can actually tip the whole trailer like this. So that's why a lot of these places will want the tandem slid to the back, so that way they have support. So no problem, I get it, makes sense. Where is it? Ah, there it is. All right, let's see if I can do this twice. Last time I got it perfect. All right, there's that. And the last time, oh my, where's the 40-foot mark? Oh, it's way over there. Okay. If I do it right, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it goes on the 7th one. So let's try that, see what happens. Gotta wait for that little engine thing to go off. Now I can turn it on. I think that's just something with internationals, but that's what my mentor told me. He said, wait for that little thing to go off. All right, remember, you've got to make sure that your trailer brake is pulled, because you don't want the trailer to move. You just want the wheels, the axle to move, or the tandems. So we're going to push that in, and since we need to move those wheels forward, we're going to go backwards, and we're going to do that basically until it stops. All right. Let's take a look at our handiwork. Oh, almost. It's too... Oh, no, we got one more to do. That's right. We got one more to do. So... Oh, it didn't go back all the way. Oh, because it went forward. I had it in the right spot. We went back so hard, it went forward. So we need to do it a little bit more gently. It's close. Dang, that is really close. This seems to be the problem. Oh, maybe I do need to put it on the 6-1. It only has to go back a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so folks, when you get one of these, put it on the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it'll be stuck. So you're going to have to just move forward a little bit, and it will loosen it up. And then remember, we have to put the release arm back in, and we have to make sure those pins pop out. Okay, so we want to get those pins to come out. So you got to listen very carefully. We should hear something come out. We're gonna have to just bring it backwards and bring it forward. Now remember, you're going to need to put that release arm in, so that way when you move it, it'll put those pins in place. There it is. Did you hear that? There was like a clang. Let's go check it out. Let's get out and look. That's the goal. This is part of the pre-trip, because we're going to check everything. And yep, that one came out. There's the other one. Yep, that came out. It doesn't look like it, but I can see it. There's just a little bit of definition there. Remember, check both sides. There it is, right there. And there's the other one. All right. While we're down here, let's just take a look at the tires. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, no rust trails, no cracks. Everything in here looks good. We know the tandems are taken care of now. That looks pretty good from what I can see. Remember, we'll need to check the lights and stuff too. No abrasions, no bulges, no cuts, no rust trails from the lug nuts. That other stuff, that doesn't count. Got some good spacing, no debris. Tires look good. Got stuff from this side here. It's looking okay. Cables are high enough off the ground. That's looking okay. Not hearing any leaks from the brake system. I don't see any cracks or anything. Yeah, I think we're good. Mud flaps are good. Ugh. So we'll check the lights and put the enforcer lock on. Remember, we got to do that. And also we're going to check the seal, make sure it matches on the paperwork. There it is. Yep, that's the seal, so it's good. It's still good. Let's check out the lights, and we will put on the bolt. It's like dark and spooky. Ooh. Ooh, you don't even know what's in front of it. What could it be? What is in front of the camera? No, it's not that. It's this. Shine a light. Shine a light. Yes. Seal and everything looks good. All right. Oh yeah. Take a picture of the seal and also take a picture of the license plate. Because I think on goal, to get out and look, was it MacLeod 32? I think. I think you might need that. Either that or it's DVIR. It's one of the two. But yeah, take a picture of that or write it down because you'll need it. Just making sure the landing gear's up on both sides. We're good to go. We did all 4 steps. We got the fifth wheel hooked up. We got the cables hooked up, right? And got the landing gear up, and we got the tandems at the 40 foot. Yes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and update. I'm going to put in the macros that I need. Remember, I didn't quite do that the last time, and the one guy was like, "Get out of here, get out of here." So I'm going to get all that ready to go and finish writing everything down in my trip book because I need to put the seal number in there, and update my trip plan with the times and everything so I know where I'm going to be stopping, and we can head out of here. Okay, everything is written down. It's in my book. I went ahead and sent the loaded call macro. Also went and updated all my times for my trip plan, so that way, because you need to put in your ETA of your next stop and all that other stuff. So this is why I'm saying I'm very detailed on what I do things, because it saves time later and it also saves errors. So I went ahead, and I know I'm going to be late. They wanted it at 8 a.m. on Friday. I'm not going to get there until around 3. So I put that in for 3 o'clock. So I did my ETA for that. Also sent in the running late macro 22 and put in there that we were having problems getting the trailer. So we're all set to go. Going to head out to the gate, give them the paperwork, and we're going to just try to go as far as we can. Welcome to Idaho, everyone. This is where I'm going to be shutting down. It's the Juniper rest stop. It's about 8 miles in to Idaho on the Interstate 84. And this was one of our planned stops. Now I still have like 4.5 hours left on my 14-hour clock. But here's the thing, you don't want to run it out completely, because if you do that, who knows where you're going to be able to pull over. Secondly, it is 8 o'clock in the evening. So if I shut down for 10 hours now, then I can get going at 6 in the morning. And I can make use of all the light, all the daylight. So yeah, that's my logic behind it. And I've already calculated that I won't be at the final destination until 3, which is 7 hours later than what's scheduled. There's not going to be a way I'm going to make up those 7 hours. So yeah, let me, it's best if I keep my schedule somewhat, normal, not trying to drive crazy into the night and then try to sleep, to 10 in the morning. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night and we'll get going tomorrow morning.